Taking a look at the futures this morning, we actually have a green start to your Tuesday. Dow up 76, S&P up 18, NASDAQ up 99. So we're reversing what happened yesterday because obviously we had pretty rough day at the office yesterday. The Dow dropped more than 400 points, as you can see on your screen. The S&P 500 fell more than 0.5%. Some investors, though, are arguing that markets are due for a pullback after months of steady gains in 2025. Crypto is part of that retreat. Bitcoin slid 6%. Worst day we've seen since March. Bitcoin right now, as you can see on your screen, 87,000 and change. Economists are now looking to the American consumer. Salesforce saying that Black Friday online spending nearing $12 billion. Cyber Monday shopping set to rake in at least another $17 billion. Then there's a new survey finding that Americans are more likely to believe President Trump's economic agenda has raised prices rather than lowering them. Joining me now, former Chrysler and Home Depot chairman and CEO and Accelerate LLC founder and CEO Bob Nardelli. Bob, it's great to see you. Good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, so let's start with the state of the consumer. Looking at these numbers on Black Friday and then again Cyber Monday, which is the latest numbers we have, $9.1 billion was spent online yesterday, according to Adobe Analytics. That's a 4.5% jump year over year. So what we're seeing Americans are spending, how do you interpret this?
Yeah, well, I think we need a really good AI agent to try and figure out this consumer, Cheryl, because exactly your opening comments. You know, we hear a lot about affordability, We hear about high prices. Yet if you look at what happened between Friday and Monday, the number I just got for online spending was like 43 billion. And those are not staples. Those are discretionary buys. So we hear a lot about increase in staples, food, petro, energy, and so forth. But I don't know, this consumer has really come off their sofas and really spent a ton of money, over 43 billion, just online in the last 4 days. So we'll have to wait and see whether they dipped into their savings, whether they loaded up their credit card. We'll see what happens at the turn of the year, what kind of exposure they put themselves into. But they were shopping very, very heavily these last 4 days online.
And Bob, what is so interesting in this poll that I mentioned? This is a Yahoo YouGov poll. This is late November. 49% of respondents said that President Trump has done more to increase prices. 24% saying he's done more to lower prices, and then 17% about the same. So you see these Americans spending in first blush of what we've gotten over the last 5 days, but then in a poll, they're politicizing it and saying that President Trump isn't helping them out on prices. So where does the rubber meet the road here?
Well, I think there's a dichotomy out there, Cheryl, in that there are price inflation. There are points of inflation that are out there. And if you look at automobiles, for example, was another area where they're complaining about higher prices. And that's because used cars inventory is down. That's because the auto industry has really shifted to the higher price, higher feature and appearance vehicles. The volume on automobiles right now is down 15.7 SAAR, seasonally adjusted rate. When I was at Chrysler, it was somewhere around 19 million units. So we're seeing the production level down. We saw where Ford just discontinued their F-150 Lightning. So again, some of the high prices we're seeing there are the result of not what President Trump has caused, but what's happened with the Biden administration when we saw 40% wage increases in the auto industry with UPS, et cetera. So again, there's a dichotomy and there's a carryover from previous administration to this administration that in fact did raise prices. Now, this administration doing everything they can to get it back in check. And I think we will. I think the forecast for 2026 is very positive. It's very strong. For example, yesterday we saw where Pfizer and Merck took a big hit. I think Pfizer took over 1%. We're seeing it come back today. So we're seeing these goes ins and goes outs, just like unemployment, has ticked up. I think unemployment will tick up a little bit more before the end of the year, Cheryl.
Yeah, no, certainly that is something that we know that the Fed is watching very carefully, and markets as well. I'm glad that you brought up the fact that you're the former chairman and CEO of Chrysler. I do want to talk to you about car prices because front page of the Wall Street Journal yesterday was this story about the American consumer consumers, quote, losing patience with high car prices, opting to either downsize, buy used vehicles, take out longer loans, or simply hold out for better deals. So what did you make of that? There's also, of course, we know this huge pullback from EVs because the subsidies expired, and Americans are saying, without those subsidies from the government, I'm not interested in an electric vehicle.
Well, let's pick up where you left off there on EVs. When's the last time you heard people complaining about charging of EVs? It used to be range anxiety, then it became charging anxiety, and today every electron, every available electron is being funneled towards data centers. And I think the thing that will pace the ability to implement and get data centers up, we can put up a building, you can put up tip walls and so on and so forth, but the real challenge will be to get the energy. If you look at GE Vernova, the old GE Power Systems that I ran, they've got an 8 to 10 year backlog. And you could put up a data center quickly. It takes years to get a power plant in place. So we're going to see a real collision here between the demand for AI, just like we saw early on, demand for EV. And I think the thing that will really pace the ability to implement AI will be the power source in our country.
It's an interesting connection that you make between these AI data centers and the, and also too under the Biden administration, what we saw was this promise of these, hundreds, maybe a couple of thousand of these charging stations, and it just never materialized. So, that was an empty promise. And now people that bought the EVs are saying, enough is enough, to your point. We've really looked at that at Fox Business. Bob, it's always great to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful holiday.
You as well, Bob. Bob Nardelli.